you were looking for. Now, I will ask Mr. Samuel Laurinkari to tell us a few words about how a company like the one he works for, eBay, is integrating and eventually commenting public policies in Europe as they are.
Thank you. I actually don't have any slides, so if you can sell them to me, that would be fantastic. So I work for eBay, and I'm going to dumb it down a notch because I'm a lawyer turned lobbyist, so I won't be able to comment on the high technical levels that we had so far in the morning. But what I do want to say is, the angle that I want to bring to this discussion is what the Internet of Things and the sort of development from products to products as services means for the retail industry and specifically for online platforms like ours. Maybe just a couple of words about eBay before I get started into the Internet of Things world is that many of you probably will know eBay, the online marketplace, but many of you may also remember it as a sort of online flea market of the 90s, which it is no longer. So most of our business nowadays is business to consumer. It's mostly small businesses selling new products at fixed prices to consumers. So our online platform is leveraged by hundreds of thousands small businesses, only in Europe, hundreds of thousands of European small businesses to access consumers in other markets in Europe and globally. So what that means is that, we, as a philosophy and a driving force of creating a platform and growing it and reaching the level where we last year enabled $84 billion of commerce on our platform, has been to create an open platform that allows everyone to participate in global trade. So allowing everyone to participate in global trade. So we're institutionally opposed to any kind of barriers to trade, anything that prevents businesses and consumers to sell products to other people. And in 20 years in the history of eBay, so we were founded actually pretty much exactly 20 years ago, we've encountered a number of things, a number of ways people try to prevent other people from trading, whether they're legal barriers, such as customs duties or prohibitions to sell certain things online or different product rules, or contractual barriers, manufacturers limiting the resale of their products online or limiting the resale of their products into certain territories, or having some sort of technical measures to prevent further resale of their products. And this actually now brings me to Internet of Things and the perspective we've been looking at it, the development of when goods become services. So Gerald mentioned the Volkswagen car. I always like to talk about the Tesla because like Teslas, I don't have one, I would like to have one. So this happened sometimes last year. They noticed that something in the adapter caused excessive heat when it was charging, and that sort of they had to recall, or the authorities wanted Tesla to recall cars because of that defunction. What Tesla did is they sent an email basically, or sent an update to the users asking them to update their software. And the problem was fixed. So no need to take the car to the garage and take it back, have it fixed and take it back. The problem was fixed with a software update, which I think is fantastic. That's a great consumer experience, right? Great user experience. No friction. But imagine you want to sell that car and Tesla says, actually, no, I don't want you to sell that car. I want the other person to buy a new car from me. I'm going to switch off the software, or I'm going to make it worse, or I'm going to disable some functionalities. So basically the connectivity that comes in the world of the Internet of Things and the control over the good has huge impact on the way we understand ownership in things and then transferability of ownership. Another example is there's a company called Amazon, some of you might have heard of. They have a product called Kindle and ebooks. And a while ago, this was actually a couple of years back, sorry for the old example, but a lady purchased a book on her Kindle. And after paying for the book, it was suddenly removed from her Kindle catalog because it had put in the, it was placed in the catalog by a third party who didn't have the rights to distribute the book. So it's basically like you go to a bookstore, you buy a book, put it in your shelf, and then next day someone comes and wants the book back. Nowadays, apparently they don't remove these catalogs automatically anymore, but that's another example of how the control of the thing remains with the manufacturer or the distributor of the goods. So ownership in things becomes actually some sort of a licenseeship. You don't own things in the world of Internet of Things. It's like software. You don't own software. You're licensing it for a very long time, unlimited period of time usually. It's basically like buying something, but you actually don't buy it because you can't resell it. So consumers are probably in the next years they will have to adjust to the idea that they won't have the kind of control and ownership of the things they have purchased like they used to have in the world of purely physical products. So in terms of the policy challenges, what that means is that on one hand you have the challenge of ownership. How do consumers perceive ownership? What can they resell the products that they have bought? Can they change them? Can they borrow them? The other challenge is distribution. When the control over the thing remains with the manufacturer throughout the life cycle of the product, it gives the manufacturer complete control over the way that's being distributed, which means it means monopolies in distribution or in the retail sector. So what we've been talking to policymakers like Gerald about is that there's a certain need to address further public policy focus on these concepts, ownership and distribution in the context of the Internet of Things. And there's really important work in terms of the interoperability and standardization that contributes to making sure that the economy stays open in the distribution chain, also in the years to come. This was sort of like my short introduction to our philosophic approach to Internet of Things. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to have a conversation later on.